What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fit for Life podcast. What's up, Brooks Coleman?
Surviving and thriving on little sleep and a lot of caffeine.
You got a sick baby at home.
We do.
That's not fun.
Yeah, it didn't take long after daycare. Literally within like 2 days.
Yeah. I will say the good news is even Mila's 7 months now, and even then it has helped her immune system already so much after a few months in daycare.
It's a nice glass half full. Also, hilarious story. Like, this is so Midwest town. How many people are in Milwaukee?
I don't even know.
Probably like a couple million.
I was going to guess 1 million.
Okay. So Omaha's like metro area is about 1 million.
Okay.
And so she's at daycare the last 2 weeks. And there's been like 5 babies that started around the same day as her. And and so they're sending us pictures of her and this other baby that's like her age, and they're like best friends, you know?
Oh, really?
And hanging out. And so we're like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. So this week, Wednesday, Mal meets said other baby's mom.
Uh-huh.
And it's literally a girl I went to school with from kindergarten through 8th grade.
No way. That's crazy.
Like, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, no way.
The one that Mila has been always in pictures with hanging out is named Brooks.
Dude, are you gonna? It's a baby boy.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have a word with him, or?
I'm gonna step in. I'm gonna ask what his intentions are.
Yeah.
With my daughter, for sure.
With a shotgun.
100%. Yeah.
Dude, Brooks has really, I swear, the first 20 years of my life, I met like one person named Brooks, and then in the last 5 years, I've heard of like 15 babies named Brooks. I'm like, I'm gonna be like the grandpa with the cool name.
You're the Sarah of our generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a lot of baby Sarahs now?
Well, like from when we were growing up.
Okay, we have a lot of Sarahs. Yeah. Okay.
Milwaukee is 560,000 proper, over 1.6 million metro.
Okay. So it's like, oh, interesting. So Omaha is
like pretty similar, right?
proper. Yeah. I would have thought Milwaukee was a little bigger, but.
No, I feel like when you start getting around, I haven't been to Omaha, but like Milwaukee, Kansas City, Indianapolis, I feel like they're all very similar vibes.
Yeah, 100%.
They're great. I love those smaller. I mean, I love Chicago these are just a very different thing. Like it's great to with the part of Milwaukee too, where you actually want to be and go out in, you could drive from one side to the other in 5-10 minutes.
Dude, it's so nice.
And you can drive everywhere, find parking everywhere. Prices aren't crazy, in most places.
Yeah. Yeah, I flew out to Denver for my nephew's baptism the other weekend.
Yeah.
Rolled up to the airport. The gates closed at 6:30 for my flight. I rolled up, I was entering the airport parking garage at 6:17. So I had to park, go through security, get to the gate, and get on the plane within 13 minutes. And I'm like, fuck. I was at the gate by 6:20. Literally 3 minutes.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Milwaukee Airport's the same exact way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denver, O'Hare.
It's like an hour drive out there. Then you get on the train and all that. It's like...
Yeah. Milwaukee, I come right in. If you get in the parking garage, you're you're just touching the building.
Yeah.
And it's $20 a day, I think. And then you go right to the terminal. You go to security's 10 minutes. There's a Chili's to go ready for you with the table, open table. Nice crisp beer in a frosted mug.
Nice. Airport beer. Very nice.
Yeah. Our friend group has a running joke that it's a top five beer, top 5 drinks. So every time someone's in an airport, they'll send a picture of a beer at the airport. It says top 5er.
Dude, I agree. Well, if you're on your way to vacation, if you're coming home different story.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, like I honestly, I don't like having drinks on a plane or like
Dude,
before
I get
a
so
plane.
tired.
I get so dehydrated.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like, and then I have a headache, and then I kind of land. I'm like, I don't even want to be here anymore.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of like there's certain times where it's like a big group trip and it's just vacation. You're just like whatever. Like we're gonna go by a pool right after this, but
Yeah.
a lot of times I'm like, I don't think I want that.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
But okay, so today
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
that was it. I realized that we have not done the your origin story. We talked about mine
Yeah.
and kind of how I got into this whole crazy industry, and so I thought it would be great to make sure we did cover yours, because I feel like you were going to try to squirrel your way out of it. But
Maybe.
people obviously, that listen to us, and obviously our clients would love to know more about you and your story and how how you got into this whole thing. So I'm going to give you the platform, and you just kind of go whichever way you want to go.
All right. Yeah, dude. The fitness journey actually started like 7th or 8th grade, honestly. It really started like I was pretty decent at sports, baseball, hockey, football, and I just wasn't growing. Like going into high school, I was like 105 pounds, and all my friends were like, all of a sudden had like 50, 60 pounds on me. Like hockey was my favorite sport. I was pretty good at it. And then, that year I was just getting pummeled, dude. Like I remember a summer camp with like one of the travel teams in town that I did that, dude, we were like doing buddy carries across the football field. And I was with this kid who was legit, I bet 180 pounds or something. Like he was huge and my age. And just like I was carrying him on my back, and it was like every 3 yards I'd just fall. So anyways, like really entering high school, like I was super embarrassed about it. I was so like, I was just small, not developing, like, and so I was like, what do I like? I'm going to start lifting weights. And I got like one year, my dad got me a little like easy bar curl bar and some weights to go on it for our house, and started doing stuff. And like really entering high school is when I started like paying attention to nutrition.
Was this coming from primarily yourself noticing that you were smaller, or like were you being told this by other people?
I think it was me, dude. Like, yeah, it
You
wasn't
you weren't
really,
getting made fun of, or
not really. I mean, I would like get shit for like that type of thing, but it wasn't like a bullying or anything like that. And it was also around an interesting time because I went to a Catholic school for K through 8th grade that had like 90 kids in it. Mm-hmm. And I was like pretty introverted. But like going to school with the same people for 9 years, everybody really well. So I was like pretty good friends with everybody. Then I went to high school, and it was like, I didn't go out for football because I was so small. And like most of my friends didn't go to the same school. And then all of a sudden I'm in a grade with like 200 kids and just like pretty self-conscious. So I think I was just like, what can I do to grow, and started trying to lift weights. And I did my first diet freshman year of high school, which like is wild to think back to. Like I remember microwaving corn and bringing like one time I brought celery to lunch, and it's like looking back, I mean, it makes me sad,
wait, so you
like
did a diet because you You were trying to lose weight?
Dude, I was so self-conscious of my body that I legit thought I needed to, it wasn't to lose weight per se,
Yeah.
but I thought, because at that time I thought like if you eat really clean and work out really hard, you will get ripped. And I didn't know what that meant. Like I didn't really realize like how much muscle I needed to build. Like, so I was like, I wanted a six pack.
Right.
And like I was just a skinny, scrawny kid, but I didn't have much muscle at all. So it's not like I was like had abs or anything.
Yeah.
And so I think
How'd you
what
find
it
this
was.
diet?
Complete nutrition by our house. So
Okay.
one of our family friends we had a Lifetime Fitness, literally like walkable from my house. And then we had a couple family friends that lived in the same neighborhood that also joined. And so there was Justin was 2 years older than me. He was my sister's age, also lived in the neighborhood, and he had a little brother, Jason. And Justin got the meal plan because he was really getting into lifting weights and things like that because he was like a sophomore or junior or whatever. And so I did the same one as him. It was like 6 meals a day. Like this guy at Complete Nutrition, like built it out for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buying supplements, started taking pre-workout, like all the things.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So then I got really fixated on it. Like I was like, like obviously I wasn't really seeing results. I mean, I'm like trying to restrict food and not really a great training plan. I like started drinking alcohol really young too. I think just because of like the nervousness around the social scene in high school and being self-conscious
And being in Omaha.
That really kicked off. Yeah, of course. The Midwest growing up. Yeah, I feel like it's a similar story most places.
Yeah.
Or most Midwest
garage
places.
beer pong.
Yeah, all the things. So that kicked off like a 10-year journey of like, I need to get in. I need to look good, like build muscle. It was kind of, and it kind of turned into like I didn't have football anymore. It was just like my thing. Like I was like, and I loved it, honestly. I was like, I'd go to the gym. I would, I was learning, like reading on blogs, all the things.
This was what age?
Freshman year of high school through
Okay.
all of high school. And then I would say like midway through college, I really started to like actually see some progress. I was doing Arnold's Blueprint to Mass. Which was insanely high volume, but like, I finally for the first time like started actually growing just from like age. And so like I actually put some muscle on, but I was drinking like crazy. And in that time, like that 4 years of college, dieting and like trying to find like a 30-day, like, oh, I'm home for a Christmas break, I'm going to get ripped, like literally trying to do that 30, 45-day thing where it's like perfection, not drinking, not eating any junk food, all the things. And that continued until through college, really.
It's kind of funny how like we always talk about like there's no like quick fix 30-day transformations or anything like that, but
Yeah.
the one exception probably is like a college dude who parties all the time but lifts weights all the time, because the amount of calories you're consuming and like you're still growing probably, and you're lifting, that like you actually probably are putting on a crazy amount of muscle in a relatively short amount of time frame. Like I remember dudes that would go home for summer and they would come back like sophomore year, junior year of college. I'm like, did you do steroids? Like I was like, this makes no sense. How do you look like that? And it's like it literally is just But like that is not going to happen now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I remember like every break, it was like, all right, it's time to lock in. And then inevitably, like your friends text and I end up going out and drinking. I'm like, God, and then
Yeah.
the spiral starts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, that really continued. And then I got a job. So I went to school for finance, got my first job. And like that first job, I really think was the first moment of like, wait, there's no, like I worked really hard through school, all the things, got like a pretty good job. And then like within a month, I was like, this is, this is it. Like, this is what cause I was viewing like get good grades, get a good job out of college as like an end goal.
Yeah.
And then I got there and I was like, oh, like I hate this,
Yeah.
and then
I'm
all the
assuming you were
while
like
just,
in an office 5 days a week,
yeah,
fluorescent lights.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. And then, as much as I could, listening to fitness podcasts and listening to nutrition and training, watching the clock until it ended and I could go to my CrossFit gym and drink my pre-workout and go work out and do all the
Yeah.
things. And so literally within a year, quit and went to work at the University of Nebraska at Omaha exercise physiology lab because I was like, I can't do this and I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I want to, I was like so obsessed with fitness and nutrition that I wanted to do something related to that. So quit and went there, and that's when I like actually started to read research, like pursue science-backed information, right? Instead of, well, maybe a little bit on podcasts before that, but yeah. So went there and started personal training people in their 70s and 80s, which was actually so much fun.
Nice.
It's like a few times a week they'd come. We'd do like a warm up. There'd be like balance exercises. Then we'd go weight train on the machines for 15 minutes. It was really fun. And then
You have them do like squats on Bosu balls and watch them and try to make sure they don't fall.
handstand push-ups.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It was, we actually utilized.
That's a joke for anyone that's listening.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
No, it was like, walking, like just a big open room and like, toe to toe walking, like really basic stuff, but it was a good time. But then also like, it was fun, man. It was like I'd ran VO2 max testing, underwater weighing for body composition testing. I had to present research at like some conferences and things like that. So did, man, a lot of stuff around altitude, which was cool. There was like a hypoxic chamber in the lab. So there was a lot of research around that. There
You were
was
getting paid to do this?
yeah. Just like
Like
hourly.
like you're like a research assistant, or what were you doing?
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, and I helped with like some classes, like for the undergrads, things like that, and like one of the guys in there, we were doing like ultrasounds and measuring flow mediated dilation in blood vessels. So I was like, doing ultrasound on people's necks and arms and things like that. So it was cool. But like at that time I had no idea that I could make a career out of it. I was kind of just like, I didn't know what I was doing,
Yeah.
So
You just knew what you
I,
didn't want to do.
Yes, 100%. And like, I think I went into finance because I was like good at math and that side of things. And then that finance job I got it was way more like relationship building and like that sort of a thing. And that terrified, like I was so bad I was like just classic, very analytical, and like we would have like lunches and people come in and things like that. And I would shut down. Like I was the whole small talk and it was just not my thing. So that was an extra driver where I would just like kind of like, I don't know, I hated it. But anyways, yeah. So exercise physiology lab. Then I was like, what the hell am I going to do? And I started volunteering. I had always thought about maybe becoming a fireman. And at this time I was like, I don't know where I'm going from here. I started volunteering, taking like EMT, taking firefighter 1 classes, all the things. Because I was like, okay, I could work out at the station. Like that sounds fun. You know, that'd be a job that would mix with fitness. So went down that path while I was at the exercise physiology lab and ended up getting hired on Omaha, officially, which is like which was cool. And then that started the next 4-year chapter. But there was just this theme, you know, of like, what's next all the time. You know, I like throughout this entire time, it was just like, I would definitely, and Mal would probably agree, define myself as just, I was a self-improvement addict. But it was coming from a place of lack for sure. And I think I don't know, but like my hunch is that like that puberty range time period really just ingrained this, like, something's wrong and you got to go prove yourself. And it kind of turned into like a fuck everybody else type of, like, my teenage years. I was just not a pleasant guy around like authority. And
like, it's so interesting because going back to the very beginning, it seems like that was entirely self-manufactured.
Dude, yeah. Because it's funny you say that, because I've done a lot of reflecting on that. And like when you know, because I've read a lot and done a lot of courses and things that talk about like childhood experiences and trauma and your upbringing. And I'm like, my parents were great. Like I didn't, you know, like, and the whole time, like for me, dude, the inner voice, just fucking ruthless, like so ruthless. And a lot of people, it's like, they took that on from a parent. And I'm like, I did not get that from anybody I know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
you never
where
had
did
like
this...
one single like interaction that you can think of with some kid like on a playground?
I mean, nothing really comes up, dude.
Yeah. It's so interesting.
It's fascinating. It totally was like well, I don't know. My friend group around middle school, we were ruthless to each other. Like,
Right.
but we were like friends.
Right.
But we were assholes to each other.
It's interesting to think of like obviously there's a factor of, you know, you think of tribes and being excluded from a tribe, right? Being needed by a tribe, like from a evolutionary perspective. And it makes sense that biologically you're like, I feel like I'm smaller than everybody else. Like I feel like that's unsafe, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure that I am able to hold my own, be respected by the tribe, like et cetera, et cetera. And it almost makes sense because anger, like, even though it's probably not the greatest thing in the long run, is a pretty damn good motivator, right? Like, you think of like the greatest athletes of all time, they all have a chip on their shoulder, right?
Dude,
like they all hold, like Michael Jordan, the stories of like the grudges that he would hold if somebody beat him in a gambling game, like a simple, stupid game, right? Like, it's like almost like that self-manufactured anger is like a survival mechanism to make sure that you like become the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, the Michael Jordan stories are fascinating, by the way.
Crazy.
Like, he would make stuff up. He would make stuff up that someone said something just to fuel him. But and I think there was a factor too of like growing up Catholic and really being like, you know, you got to be really good, be a good boy type of a thing. And
You're like, I'm not a good boy.
not allowing right. But actually,
I'll
like,
show
if you yeah. but like, I totally think, because I got in a lot of trouble in like high school, teenage years,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of that was this I internal, the Catholic guilt thing, right? It's the whoa, that's gonna send me to hell. I need to reject that part of myself. But if you, the longer you do that, the more you're just kind of at war with yourself, and you end up. I'm not saying go punch someone in the face, but like to not label yourself as defective if you have negative
Yeah.
experiences or thoughts or emotions. So it totally just like turned into a so judgmental, dude. So judgmental of myself and others to try to feel okay, But yeah, so fitness wise, exercise physiology time ended up getting results actually. Like for, actually pretty damn good results, but it was also a optimize everything. Obsess, don't go out, no social life, don't enjoy yourself, all the things. And so there was a point that I got there, and it was like, once again, kind of like that finance job point where it was like, once again, like, wait, now what? What the fuck? Like, I'm not happy type of a thing. Like, I thought, like, I had tried for so long. I wanted this for so long. And I got there, and it was like, okay, I have no social life. My back and my knees are screwed up because I'm training myself into the ground. I was training like 2 hours a day, like 6 days a week, usually.
Wow.
My wife and I, well, then girlfriend, we entered a CrossFit competition, like a couples thing. It's supposed to be fun. I think it was like a Valentine's Day thing. And going into the last event, and this is like peak for me. I'm in great shape visually and like stamina, like CrossFit, strength, everything. And we're going into the last event, and I'm warming up on deadlifts, and I throw my back out for like the 4th time in a year. And I'm just like, dude, it would depress me because it's all I had was like exercise. And then I was laying in bed for 4 days, like had to take muscle relaxants, take a day off work. Like it was that bad. And it was just kind of like this moment of like, what the fuck am I doing? So it's like, I don't know, moment number 2 of like, okay, I worked so long for something. And then it's kind of like, well, that was a scam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Type of a feeling.
What was moment number 1?
That finance job, like working so
Oh,
hard through college and to get there.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you did the American dream, right? Like you went through college, you got a great finance job, and then you're like, whoa, I don't want to do this. And then you're like, I love fitness. I'm obsessed with fitness. So I'm going to do like, I'm going to be the most fit, right? Like and like CrossFit was such a big thing, which like, there's nothing wrong with CrossFit. I think it's
Right.
like, for some people, it's a great workout and overall, but I think it's more so, it was beat down our throats that like more is better, right?
Yeah.
Like just work out all the time, work out every day. Like, and the more you work out, the more fit you're going to be. Then that comes crashing down.
Yep.
And again, you realize like, maybe I don't know everything.
Yeah. 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 And I think it was like the first moments of like starting to like realize maybe just a sliver of just like, oh man, I'm really like not happy. Like I'm not like my mental health was, honestly, I think like from freshman year of high school until just a few years ago, like it was rough.
Yeah.
And like the finance part too, like that 7th, 8th grade time was just really interesting because another thing I remember specifically doing, and this is like fascinating to me because this is the first time I remember having this mentality. I was always in like the highest math, but there were one kid in middle school who was in one level higher than that. So 8th grade, he would get picked up and go to one of the high schools for math class because nobody else at our school was in that. So entering freshman year of high school, I took 2 math classes that year because I wanted so badly to be that kid that was one of like 3 people in our school who was a grade ahead in math. And I'm like, it's so interesting to think back on that because I'm like, what was I trying to prove with that? Like, that was like the first time I remember really wanting to just, be the best. Like, it wasn't good enough. So anyways, that moment just sticks out to me.
There's a constant comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. And a theme for sure with that was like no internal focus of my own worth. It was just always looking externally to be reflected. Am I good enough type of a thing?
Yeah.
Which has been and I think that went into the social side. That went into literally everything I did. And because it's like, what a never ending game. You literally cannot live, like you cannot satisfy everyone. So then it's like, you're just on high alert to try to do so. And you live and die by it, I guess.
Like, it's so easy to take that too and to convince yourself that it's like, well, I just care about everybody else more than myself. Care, and it's like, no, you actually care too much about yourself.
Right.
It's literally it's the most egocentric thing you could possibly do is think that everybody is judging you, everybody's looking at you, everybody's thinking about you, and you desperately want their validation when the reality is nobody's really thinking about you.
Yeah.
They're all thinking about themselves, right? And I fell into that trap for such a long time. I mean, I'm reading what's the book called?
Wholeness. Yeah. Finding radical wholeness.
The whole idea of like growing up and moving from the egocentric to, I can't remember what ethnocentric, and then like the worldview one.
Yeah.
But it is very hard because like when we say like, oh, I just care too much about what other people think. I just want everybody else to be happy, and I never put myself first. And it's like, but you are doing that because you are constantly putting yourself first, right? Like if there's a transaction element involved in this, that you do something nice for somebody else, but do you get pissed if you get nothing in return? Right, exactly. Like, are you actually okay if they never acknowledge it, never even know it was you? Or is it really, I need them to like me. I need them to like me. Why don't they like me? And it's like, when you can kind of reframe it of like, this is actually like the most selfish thing that I'm doing, right? It kind of starts breaking that down, especially when you consider like, hey, that person that's standing over there across the street thinks that same exact thing. Like they think that you're thinking about them right now. And you're like, I barely even noticed them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Number one, I was not the one that was using like serving other people or pleasing other people. I was like the worst of both. I was very like, it was like selfishness, but not like taking care of, and maybe that's my inner critic coming in, but like, I was the opposite. I'd say no to everything. Like I had to stay, like it was like a very, I need to eat my meals. I need to get my rest. I can't do anything for anybody else. But like at the same time, I definitely hold like some sympathy or compassion for that kid because I was like scared shitless all the time. Like I was trying to be okay by doing stuff, really.
Right.
So yeah, it's such an interesting dynamic though, like that. I'm glad you're liking that, or are you liking that book?
I am. Yeah. It was hard. You have to like give it 30 pages to like act. Cause in the beginning I was like, what is going on? Like, what is he saying? And then like and then I feel like once you kind of start understanding the writing and how he speaks, it becomes it is cool. It's a very, I'm still early in, but I'm curious with what you're saying, like kind of connecting the dots then with fitness, wellness, and like getting up super obsessed with it. Because now you're talking about like how you kind of almost were distracting yourself, right, by doing things.
Yeah.
Brooks and I were on one of our clients' podcasts yesterday, and I kind of brought this up, but like this idea that the wellness industry in general, and this whole idea of like health and well-being and everything that like has become, is become definitely trendy over the last 10 years, and has become, you have wellness gurus, you have biohackers, like you have all this stuff, and what has been tied throughout history, because this isn't the first time that wellness has become a trend. It's actually something that popped up 100 years ago. And a lot of it is usually tied to the idea that we need something to distract ourselves from the craziness going on around us, whether that's like, geopolitical strife or, crazy things going on in the cities around you, or just within your own life, and the amount of the emotions that you're trying to avoid. Exercise, fitness can become a thing that makes you feel like you're in control when you feel like you don't have any control. And it makes you also feel like you have an avenue to avoid the emotions you don't want to feel. Do you feel like that's a main theme that kind of led to the obsession into the fitness world?
100%. I would say, well, I mean, it's interesting because if we take that conversation further, anytime anyone does anything, or anytime anyone isn't completely happy, it's because they're avoiding a feeling or going after a feeling that they think they want. But then they're just projecting how to get that feeling back onto an external solution. So money, a body, whatever. So looking back on mine, I think it like, to get a little deeper, I think a couple like underlying pretty strong driving subconscious beliefs were that something was wrong with me. And these were like not questioned or conscious, something's wrong with me. And I'm not enough because of it. And if I do X, I will accept myself and be comfortable. Like, that's really, I think, what it comes down to. And, you could say accept myself or I will be loved or whatever, like, terms you want to use. But I really think that's, like, what it all came back to.
Yeah.
And for me personally, my strategy of avoidance is thinking, like going up in my head for sure, like so strong. Like up until 3-4 years ago, I was like, I didn't even know what. One of my mentors, like 3 or 4 years ago, asked me what I was feeling, and I had no fucking clue what he was talking about. He was like, because we were having a call about, like, I couldn't stop working, and we can get to this, but I basically. So it was like, got the body, wasn't it? Maybe if I'm a fireman, I'll be happy. That seems like a cool job. A year or two go by. I loved it, but like, once again, was like, what's next? Wasn't happy. And then I think I substituted the fitness pursuits with the social media and the business. And then I was addicted to working. And I couldn't relax. Like, I could not enjoy myself if I wasn't working.
Because in your head, you solved the fitness part.
Yes.
Like, you got the body. Like, you're like, all right, this one's done.
Check the box. Yeah.
What's the next problem?
Yeah. And that's inherently an issue of being identified with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, your mind is built to solve the next problem and to look into the future. Like, that's what it does. There is no world that because it's here to keep us alive or to survive. There's no you don't check a box on survival.
Yeah.
Because any given moment that you've survived, there's a next moment to survive.
Yeah.
Until you're not there to think about it anymore.
Which is
So
that's another parallel of like the wellness industry and this whole idea of like being so like micro addicted to like the absolute perfect superfoods and avoiding like squeeze out every fasting protocol. Like a lot of that stems from the
yes,
fact that life is pretty damn good. Like we don't have
yeah,
anything to really worry about compared to like our ancestors who were literally worried about saber-toothed tigers coming out of the corner, right? And so our mind
yeah,
is going to find ways to manufacture problems, which is
yes,
a big reason why the news and the media is so effective, right? Like their whole
yeah,
strategy is to scare the hell out of you because we want that. We
yeah,
want to understand what our dangers are, what our fears are. And so we're willing to pay for it, to obsess over it, to help try to solve it, get passionate about it. And
hmm,
so like this whole idea of fitness, wellness, like a lot of it stems from the fact that life has almost become too easy
yeah,
compared to where it was hundreds of years ago.
yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, and that's interesting because you look at like famous people and millionaire, like very wealthy people's children, like the rates of like addiction and I'm not saying that's me. I grew up like middle class, I would say,
Yeah.
but like the more, I think the ceiling's way higher for happiness, but the low is way lower
Yeah.
because when you have the ability and the space to reflect, it can turn into, like you said, self-obsession. Just always thinking about me, 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 me. Am I okay?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and like, yeah. I mean, and I went down all like even beyond after getting the body. I was what would the term be? What's it called where you're like convinced something's wrong in your health?
Like a hypochondriac.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not like with flu or cold or stuff. I was like, dude, after I got in shape and that didn't make me happy, I was like, or it didn't, I would say maybe I wasn't like consciously being like, what will make me happy? I was super freaking anxious all the time, like all the time. And I was trying to get rid of that. And so even after that, like throughout the time on the fire department and exercise physiology lab, like, dude, I was going down so many rabbit holes. Like, why don't I feel okay? And it was like getting my DNA done and like looking into micronutrients. And dude, I went down so many different paths of a freaking obsession over that stuff because I was so convinced that something was wrong. And that's why I didn't feel okay. And like, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was so miserable. Like it was, oof.
Was something
Like,
actually wrong?
no. Yeah. Yeah, it's well, it's interesting cuz what's wrong is being convinced something's wrong. So it's like in a way something's wrong, but the thing that's, and this is, I feel like this is representative of the entire conversation around ego or your mind or whatever. It's like you're making the thing wrong.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, something's kind of quote unquote wrong, but it's like the thing that's wrong is me being convinced that something's wrong.
Yeah. So what happened a few years ago? Because you said this all kind of changed like 3 or 4 years ago.
A few things. Mushrooms. So that was a joke, but like psychedelics were helpful for me for sure. Well, going back before that, I think one thing important to share that I don't think I've ever shared is SSRIs really helped me a lot
Okay.
for the very first, and that was on the fire department. So my first year on the fire department, I was a rookie. You're the candidate. You get, everything's on you. You're washing all the dishes. You're doing everything at the station. It was it was tough, but it was so much fun. And there was a guy at the station, 10 years older than me, who had been on the fire department for about 10 years, and he took his own life right after my first year. And he had a 3-year-old.
Damn.
And I totally saw we were very similar. You know, he loved working out. He was such a good guy. He was fucking awesome. And dude, it was mental health. And so it was around that time. That was another like wake up to me of like, okay, like I saw myself following his life path, and like everyone loved this guy. Mm-hmm. And he, like, it was so, yeah, so that was a part. And then so like around that time I was like, all right, I literally have checked every box of like things outside of, and looking back, it's like, well, you didn't check the box of like tuning inward, but that's a conversation for later. And I was like meditating at that time, but I would just like, I was meditating because it was like, oh, I'm going to meditate and that's going to give me something back type of a thing. It wasn't, yes, exactly. So it was still just, yeah. So, I was like, I've tried everything. I've optimized my folate intake based on my MTHFR gene, all that type of stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, and then plus with the fire department, way less control, shitty sleep. I was like, I'm going to try an SSRI. And dude, oh my God. Like the volume. And everyone out there, especially in the health industry, I feel like people shame people about it and say like they're terrible for you. It doesn't even work. It frickin' worked wonders for me. Like for the very first time, that just the intensity and the dial got turned so far down on the voice in my head. Yeah. Like, I think that's what even allowed me to start posting on Instagram, because I was so self-conscious before that it like, it really unlocked like, oh my God, like this is what it feels like to like enjoy the present moment sometimes. Like,
because before it was just a constant rush of your voice in the head, like would just not stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So that was great. Shout out Zoloft.
Which is, it's interesting, like, because it's like, to me, it's a very similar conversation with GLP-1s that's happening.
Yeah.
You know, like, because you hear very similar arguments of like, because I feel like SSRIs over time have become more accepted, but there was a very long time, and there's still people who will make the arguments of like, you don't need that. You just need to rid yourself of all the stressors and the junk American food, and you know, exercise more, and you'll be happy. And it's like, well, you did all those things, you know, and it's like,
well, that's the exact
And GLP-1s, I think, is a very like you're hearing the same exact arguments of like, you don't need a drug, you just need to walk more and exercise and like and actually try to eat healthy. And it's like, okay, but just because you don't feel that constant food noise in your head doesn't mean that it's not real. Doesn't mean that other people don't. And SSRIs are very similar. It's like, if you don't need them, then I don't think you have a stake in this argument. Like, you don't understand what it feels like.
Exactly. And that, dude, that's I mean, in general, no one has any fucking clue what it's like to be in someone else's head.
Right.
You can't know. And that was the thing with that guy in the fire department. You know, you bounce around stations and people don't know you're close with this guy, and people are talking shit and how selfish. And it's like, okay, have you been in a place where you were considering literally taking your own life before? No, because I'm not selfish. Okay, then you obviously don't understand that experience.
Right.
Like, that drove me nuts, because it's like, okay, sure, if you want to say that, but clearly you know, anyways.
Like that's, and I will never understand it.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine, do you really do you really think that he didn't go back and forth and argue in his own head and consider
Right.
all those points
Yeah.
a million times before it actually
Yeah.
happened?
Right.
Like, do you really think that it wasn't at the point where it was like, I literally don't know what else to do?
Right.
Like, of course you don't understand it because you haven't done it,
Yeah.
like you've never
Yeah.
been to that point. So I would
Right.
imagine people who have been relatively close, and suffer from addiction and have maybe had someone there that like saw it and like helped them and gave a lifeline, and for whatever reason, right? Like it ended up being good, could
Yeah.
probably tell you like, dude, it could have easily ended the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. So that really helped. Took the leap from the fire department, started the business. And yeah, it's just ironic because a lot of people are like, it shuts you down emotionally. SSRIs, that is, shuts you down emotionally, like blah, 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 blah. It did the opposite for me. Like, it was like so helpful. And I know some people have terrible experiences, but like, that's with anything, right? So then started the business, but I think once again, it was like, okay, the SSRI is helping me feel better. So now I can pursue achieving in the world to feel like I'm enough.
Yes.
Like, once again, like it's just moving the goalpost every time. And then so it was like, all right, the body didn't make me happy. Now I'm going to show everyone online how smart I am to get their validation around how I know how, like just another thing. Or like I'm going to be, and I became a coach, and it was like, I think in those early days, it totally was just filling that same void of like feeling enough. And, once again, that kind of just, I 18 months in, I like really scaled it up like crazy by myself and had a ton of clients and like just burned out. Was working nonstop, was in over my head. And around this time, I'm like really starting to realize how I don't know as much as I think I do. Because up until that point, I just thought it was about what to do. And that's the point where I'm like, oh shit, like to really help people, it's not about that. And I feel like that's probably around the time we first connected. And yeah, so that was like another turning point of, okay, psychology, behavior change, what's going on. And I think around that time, it really, I mean, at that point I was making pretty good money too. And then it was like the same thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm just looking in the future again. Like, and it's just, I was exhausted,
Yeah.
just exhausted. So I think the last 2 years really turned it inward. Like, okay, what is well-being? What is mental health? Like, what does this look like? All these things didn't do it. And that's been the journey the last 2 years. And there's been some psychedelics. There's been a lot of mindfulness and meditation and different practices and a lot of different things. But I think the external has shifted to like, what is meaningful, right? Yeah. Cause like, yeah. And I feel, and that it's like, dude, I feel so grateful for our work. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's fun. I love seeing people transform their mindsets. Like, yeah, here we are.
Well, do you have to go?
No, I can push it 15.
Okay. How has fatherhood impacted the whole thing?
Yeah, I feel like that's been another slap in the face of, I think it's the first time that it's like, I mean, as far as the me thing has completely shifted, it's like, good luck trying to be all about me when you have a kid. And it's, yeah, I think the focus on like what I want for Izzy is to just feel like, I think the North Star for everybody everywhere, whether they realize it or not, is to just be content in the moment, you know? And I think that's you could call it a lot of different things, but just feeling loved and loving yourself unconditionally. And I think that's a massive shift from like, if I would have tried to pursue that 3 years ago, it would have been a very ego-driven thinking of like it's hard for your mind to appreciate yourself unconditionally. It just doesn't it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Right.
And it's a shift. It's just a shift down to like, if you unconditionally love yourself, like you're going to do the same towards others. Like there's no difference in a way,
Yeah.
to get really deep. So I think now it's like, yeah, I mean, just being and not entering like the shift from thinking about everything to more emotion, feeling, like that's been the biggest game changer for me to get out of my head, is getting into the body. And so it's not like a, hey, Izzy, you're enough because you exist. Like just saying it. It's just being there fully with her as much as possible, you know, and connecting with her and helping her feel connected as much as possible. And then the work kind of makes itself, right? Like shit's going to come up with a kid. So it's like sitting with that and not, it's like the first time in my life that I remember the first couple months when she was just crying her head off and there was nothing to do. You have because it's so easy before kids to like, well, this person didn't do this, or that's wrong with the world, and that's why I don't feel okay, and you can project it. And then you're like, those first moments of like holding her and her just wailing for an hour and like unconsolable, it's just like, all right, I need to sit with this intense emotion and let it be and not resist it.
I think that's the greatest thing about like having kids is the ultimate ego killer.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
dude.
like
Yeah.
it is the biggest thing that will ever make you realize I can read all the books, I can look at all the videos, I can do all this stuff to prep, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like they're still gonna rock your shit.
Yeah.
What works for one doesn't work for the other. You can do all of it right, and they still and you still have those periods where it's like, why are they still crying? I don't understand what's going. Like it is so good for squashing any semblance of thinking that you're in control.
Yes. Yes. Yes, dude. Yeah. And it's the really cool part. So I think like the last 6 months, a couple key shifts for me have been from Michael Singer. He's the author of The Untethered Soul, but he has a couple other books. And Joe Hudson, who I've sent you a couple of his, but he's on YouTube, and they're both all just about feeling, you know, and how it's just so funny because reading all the books, my intellectual mind was like, oh yeah, you know, like just like feel it. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like, just be present. And it's just my head thinking, oh, we're just going to be present. I'm being present. And it's like, no, like the mind is the mind anyways. But both of them talk about basically the same thing. And my favorite about it is the way Joe Hudson describes it. He calls it the golden algorithm. And basically the road to happiness, or whatever you want to call it, more presence, or the work, the inner work, is just like, and this applies to kids so well, but life in general is going to trigger you. You have something come up, And you don't, and like if you can get beyond the thoughts around it, because at first it's just like, this is wrong, that, labeling, all the things. But really what it comes down to, you said this earlier, is you're resisting something coming up in your body. It's an emotion, it's a feeling, and you don't like it. And so you're resisting it. And and basically the practice is just anytime something is not wrong or something is wrong and you're not enjoying yourself, tune in instead of labeling what's wrong and what needs to be fixed internally. It's just tuning into what am I feeling in my body and can I allow it? And I mean, a crying baby really triggering you is going to do that. And it's just because the idea is that, well, and I've been experiencing this as I practice it, it's not the emotion that's the problem. It's the resistance to it. And so if you fully feel it and allow it, it just moves through you. But if you shove it down, you basically are just clamping yourself down and you're getting all rigid and resisting reality, right?
Yeah. The first step to true happiness is understanding that we're not always going to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay.
Right. Well, right. And and I think a huge shift is like I see this with clients, and this is where I was for so long. When will I will just never, it will never be enough for me. No, it won't. You're right. Because as long as you're identified with that voice in your head that's telling yourself that, it won't. It will never be, you will never be happy when you're completely identified with what the mind is telling you need to be happy. It's literally the mind's job.
You're always going to move the goalpost to something else.
Yeah. And so the happiness to me is like fully experiencing where you are right now. And what that involves is shifting identification away from that voice. So it's like, if I could tell myself 10 years ago, and if I could tell people right now that are like, I need to get this body to become happy. I know they're not consciously saying that. Sometimes they are. But it's like, the problem isn't what you want. The problem is that you're just identified with your mind at that. Like, that's it. That's it. And I know that's overly simplistic, but it really is pretty simple. Like, it's just a practice of getting distance from that voice in your head or those thought processes. And because, you move the goalposts. So it's just over and 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 over. Just, I mean, dude, to me, the whole feeling your body thing, and I'm sure some people are, I don't know how you feel about this, but like, I'm sure some people are thinking and they're like, yeah, no shit. But for me, like, seriously, that mentor 3-4 years ago, I was talking to him about, like, I was like, dude, I am so anxious if I'm not working. And he's like asking me what I was feeling in those moments when I like tried to stop working and had to go back to the computer. And I was like, well, no, I sat down on the couch and, no, so I got up and went to go get my computer. He's like, what were you feeling? I was like, well, I had to get this thing. I started explaining it. He's like, you're just telling me what happened. Like, what were you feeling? I was like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so, those things are going on. Like, there are feelings there. You're just resisting it or diverting attention away from it or being locked in your head. And so for me, the last like 3 to 6 months, it's changed everything to just anytime I'm feeling like something's off or not enjoying myself, move to the body. What do I feel in my body? And like at first it was like I didn't feel anything. I felt like I couldn't really find it. And it's just been so simplistic.
It's interesting you say that because what I felt that I could describe is like I couldn't access certain emotions. Like in my head, it was very much, oh, I'm anxious. I'm just stressed, or like I just have anxiety. But if I think about it and like really go back, a lot of that's because I really wanted to avoid any negative emotions. And so
Yeah.
if I felt something negative, I was like, what are you doing? Why are you not happy? Why is this wrong? Like, and it was like, get out of this state, get out of this state. And that felt anxiety. That felt stressful. Right. And so in my head, it was always like, oh, I'm anxious or I'm stressed again. But the reality was I was lumping all of my negative emotions into this state of, I don't want to feel this. I want to be happy and I want everything to be okay. And that makes me stressed out that it's not. And so like, I never separated, is this anger? Is this sadness? Is this, like it was just, this isn't happiness and I don't want that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was all just anxiety.
So, and well, the super interesting part is, so there's a quote by Joe Campbell. Joseph Campbell is the founder, or he created the framework of the hero's journey, which is basically the storytelling framework for every movie and book and every story known to mankind. But he says any feeling felt fully is bliss. And basically unhappiness. So for you, the anxiety is created to avoid the anger or the shame or the guilt or the sadness. And so once again, the anger or the guilt or the sadness, if it was allowed to be felt fully, wouldn't be unhappiness because you'd just be fully feeling the emotion. The unhappiness is the anxiety and the labeling of is the protection mechanism against those things that for whatever reason, growing up, we learn to resist that. It's bad to feel that. It's not okay. And so it's like this weird thing where it's like all the problems and the discomfort come from this anxiety that I'm using to protect me from this sadness or whatever it is. And if I just tune into the sadness fully, it will actually be really enjoyable in a weird way. Yeah. Like, which is fascinating. Like, it's like we all have these mechanisms just protection mechanisms that we thought were important to run from this thing. If we turn around, it's just a teddy bear wanting to give us a big hug. But we're so focused, we just don't realize because that pattern was ingrained so heavily at some point. Could be the most minor thing. But it's fascinating. And like, once again, I feel like somebody hearing this between two overthinkers who is like more of a feeling person is probably like, yeah, welcome. It's night. Like, cause I've literally been like the other week when I took Izzy, I just let myself bawl. Like, dude, I probably went 4 to 8 years without crying at all at one point in my life. And it was like, oh my God, this feels really good. Because if you're not there, if your head isn't there being like, what's wrong with you? And I think the biggest game changer for me with all this, you hear these things and then you're like, oh, I just need to stop resisting my emotions so much. You're just doing the same fucking thing again. Right. Like that's because then it turned into that for me. Oh, I just need to accept myself. I just need to love myself. I just need to stopping myself from feeling these things. You're doing the exact same thing again. So it's like this weird short circuit to my overthinking head that's like, okay, if the goal is like unconditional acceptance of myself and others, like saying I need to accept myself more, or I need to feel more of my emotions, or I need to stop doing this is just another condition I'm placing on myself to keep happiness and well-being and feeling good right now away from me. Mm-hmm. So then it's like, it short circuits your brain because it's like, there's nothing to do. Like, what the fuck?
You almost have to let go of the idea that you have to do anything.
Exactly. And
right. Like, it's
and
like,
the thing is that
you don't have to do anything for happiness.
Exactly. And you hear, dude, I've read that in a book, in two different books a year at least for 15 years straight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and for the longest time I was like, oh yeah, I know. But then I just turn that into like, yeah, so I just need to accept what's here now. And it's just like, so, and I think the idea is that like your mind will never accept. So it's just shifting, it's just getting distance to see that. But the best pointer, and this was really helpful on a mindset coaching session for one of our clients last week. She was really trying to tap into like unconditional or just love for herself. And she was resisting it. And like the idea behind all of this work is like, it's your natural state. The resistance, like I just said, is what keeps you from recognizing it's already here. So I said, well, what would it be like if you just tune into the resistance you're feeling and fully accept that? And she had never done that before. And she's like, wow, that really, so it's like, because if we resist the resistance, we're just doing the same thing. So it's just, it quite literally is. I feel like my deepest insights for myself on all this work are the most cliche things that I had heard a million times. But if like you really like feel it, like, or like really get it, it's like, oh, it quite literally is just accepting or loving or feeling fully anything that comes up in any given moment. Like it really comes back to that. But it's this huge search you have to go on to like check these boxes and realize that that's what it was the whole time.
Yeah. Damn. Well, I mean, that was awesome, dude. I appreciate you so much. I mean, like, I feel like in this crazy fitness space, I'm so happy that we met because it's so many of these things, like, it's just so much further beyond just protein and training splits and everything. And like, yes, those things are important, but like, we got to marry the two together. Right. And so it's like, you made me feel like I'm not crazy, you know, because like, it's like, no, this stuff's cool too. Right. Like there's mental health, there's physical health. There's a combination of all of it. There's a spirituality aspect. Like there's so much involved in true wholeness and fulfillment of living a healthy life. One last question.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
If you had to like really think out 5 to 10 years from now, what is DataFit? Like, what is this coaching company? Like, what is your ultimate long-term vision and goal for it?
I'm going to you can call this a cop-out and force me to answer, but I'm going to completely go away from like what it looks like and just say in some, like I really feel like the last year, it's just been a shift to, I don't care if it's 10 people a year or 1,000. If we can literally help them find more happiness in their daily life. And like, I think that's partly like, I don't even want to say necessarily it's like, oh, we're doing strength training for it's like, if we can, if underneath whatever we're doing at that time is really cool, like helping people transform their mindset to enjoy their life right now more, then I'm like, I don't care what it looks like. You know, like, is that a cop-out?
No. I love the answer, because if you had given me a specific thing that you want this company to look like and like the number of people and the revenue and all those things, like that would have actually been the exact opposite of everything that you talked about for the last hour. Right? Did I lose you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, and it's like, it's so, oh my gosh. Like looking at like 3 years ago when I was getting new clients, it really was like there was a big part of me that it was just about like, numbers. And like right now it's like, it's so cool to be doing something where like the person is getting a big transformation and like you're receiving just as much, like you feel like you're getting more than they are.
Yes.
And it's just like, what more could you ask for? Like,
yes.
Like that's a way to be selfish and selfless at the same time in a way. That's just like really fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's awesome, man. That's why it's that's why I appreciate you and DataFit, because I feel like it's not a weight loss company.
right.
It's not just like hey, come, we're gonna help you lose a bunch of weight and you're gonna get jacked. And I think we could do those things, and I think we have helped a lot of people do those things, that's like, of course, but that's not the transformation that makes me happy, right? Like to hear people say, man, like I am just so happy with where my life is, and I enjoy my workouts, and I look forward to my meals without feeling anxiety around what I have to eat and what I can't eat. And it's amazing that I'm like, maybe I didn't lose as much weight as I originally like said I was going to be, like this shredded or whatever. But I'm very fit, I'm very healthy, and I feel free. Like that's like the ultimate word that I always love hearing, is like, I just don't feel like I'm like obsessed over all this anymore.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Dude, that freedom word, I feel like that comes up. I think that might be something right there, because that's what everyone wants.
Yeah. It's everything you just talked about with yourself, right?
Yeah. And what you realize is like you are the one creating the prison that is keeping you from the freedom. And with health and fitness, it's, I need to look a certain way to feel free. That's what you want on the other side. And so it's like, how can we tap into the freedom that's already present right now, which will ironically get you great results too. Like,
yeah. That's the craziest part, is like, once, like, we're not even saying, oh, just love yourself, don't worry about your body. It's like, no. This ironically is actually the path to doing it sustainably.
Yeah. But then as soon as you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to feel free so I can get the six pack, then you ruined it all. Because it's like, no, that sneaky ego is just doing the same exact thing. Like with the emotions, I'm just going to accept my anxiety that I'm really actually terrified so that I can get rid of it. It's like, now it doesn't work, because you're doing it as a means to get rid of it. And if you fully feel it, it's going to go away. But if you do it in order to do that, you're gaming the system, and you can't do it that way. Exactly. It's such a paradox.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, that was fantastic. Hopefully, I'm sure people got a lot of value out of that. And we'll be back with your regularly scheduled fitness programming next week.
Protein tips next week.
Yeah, but super important episode. So appreciate you, man.
Cool. Appreciate you. See you guys.
Bye, everybody.